The group chat notification popped up on my laptop while I was working from home. My wife, Emma, had left her iCloud account signed in on our shared computer, and her messages were syncing automatically without her noticing. I wasn't trying to spy on her or invade her privacy. I was simply clearing random notifications so I could focus on work when I saw the message that shattered everything I thought I knew. Girl's trip to Miami was amazing. David will never find out what really happened. What happens in Miami stays in Miami, right, ladies? Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you're listening in the comments. My name is David Mitchell. I'm 32, and I thought I had a solid marriage with Emma, my wife of 5 years. She had told me the Miami trip was for her friend Jessica's bachelorette celebration, just a group of close friends enjoying time together before Jessica's wedding. When Emma returned, she had a tan, a few new outfits, and stories about relaxing spa treatments, long beach walks, and laughter-filled dinners. What she didn't bring back were the details that truly mattered. I sat frozen at my desk for what felt like forever, watching those words on the screen as my coffee slowly went cold beside me. My entire sense of stability tilted, like the ground had shifted under my feet without warning. Upstairs, Emma was getting ready for work, humming softly to herself, completely at ease, moving through the morning like nothing was wrong, like she hadn't just admitted to her closest friends that something had happened in Miami that she never intended for me to discover. That calm, ordinary sound of her voice felt surreal against the chaos building inside my mind. The strange part is that I work as a cybersecurity analyst for a Fortune 500 company. My profession revolves around uncovering hidden information, tracing digital footprints, and exposing things people try desperately to conceal. Emma had unknowingly challenged the one person who knew exactly how secrets unravel. I captured screenshots of the conversation immediately, preserving every word before the chat could disappear or be deleted. Then I started digging. The group included Emma and her 3 closest friends, Jessica Chen, the bride-to-be, Sarah Williams, recently divorced, and Ashley Rodriguez, who was married to my friend Mike. The 4 of them had been inseparable since college, bonded by years of loyalty and shared history. That loyalty, I realized quickly, extended to protecting one another's worst decisions. During my lunch break, I configured monitoring tools on shared accounts and devices I had legal access to. Nothing illegal, nothing intrusive beyond what I was authorized to view, just quiet observation. If Emma had decided to build her life around deception, I was going to understand every detail of it. The information began appearing almost immediately. New messages, old threads, embedded photos, timestamps, location data, transaction records. Within 2 days, the full truth assembled itself piece by piece, like a puzzle I never wanted to solve. What happened in Miami wasn't a single mistake. It was a coordinated weekend of betrayal. All 4 women had used the bachelorette trip as cover to pursue other men. They met strangers at hotel bars, went out to clubs late into the night, and returned to their rooms with people they barely knew. The group chat contained explicit conversations, congratulatory messages, and jokes about how easily they had deceived everyone back home. One message read that their husbands were completely clueless. Another celebrated how convincing their stories had been. Emma had participated fully, adding her own comments and laughter, reinforcing the illusion they planned to maintain. I decided to start with Jessica. Her wedding was scheduled in 3 weeks to a man named Robert Kim, a software engineer whose public posts suggested he was deeply devoted to her. Their relationship spanned 4 years, and every photo showed a man who believed completely in the future they were building. During the Miami trip, Jessica had begun an affair with a man named Carlos she met at the hotel bar. The evidence included photos of them together, conversations describing their encounters, and messages comparing him favorably to her fiancé. I created an anonymous email account and sent Robert the documentation, screenshots, images, and transaction records that confirmed what had happened. The note was simple and direct, explaining that he deserved the truth before committing to a lifetime built on deception. Next was Ashley, who was married to my friend Mike Rodriguez. Mike and I had known each other for years. We played basketball every Thursday and shared the ordinary conversations of married men trying to build stable lives. Ashley's involvement in Miami centered on a man named Tyler, a personal trainer she planned to see again during a future trip. The group chat showed clear plans to continue the relationship. I asked Mike to meet me for coffee and presented everything carefully. His reaction unfolded slowly, disbelief giving way to shock, then grief. He asked how I obtained the information. I told him Emma had been involved, that none of this had been isolated or accidental. He thanked me despite the pain, because truth, however brutal, is still clarity.
Sarah Williams had no spouse to betray, but her professional role made her actions uniquely disturbing. She worked as a family therapist specializing in marriage counseling and recovery after infidelity. Publicly, she promoted honesty and emotional repair. Privately, she encouraged deception and celebrated it. I forwarded relevant evidence to the licensing board responsible for her professional conduct, believing her behavior contradicted the ethical standards she claimed to uphold. But Emma was the center of it all. My wife had spent the weekend with a man named Marcus, a club promoter who facilitated access to exclusive venues and private events. Messages revealed plans to meet him again when he traveled to our city. Photos, receipts, and conversations documented the extent of their involvement. She had spent significant amounts of our shared money on him, funding dinners and nightlife experiences while presenting the trip to me as harmless relaxation. Despite everything I learned, I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I began planning a response that would make deception impossible to maintain. Emma's company was hosting its annual charity gala the following weekend, a formal event attended by colleagues, clients, and industry leaders. She had been anticipating it for months, selecting a dress, planning conversations, preparing to strengthen professional relationships. I purchased my ticket as her guest, just as I had in previous years, but this time I intended to say something that would redefine the evening entirely. The event program included a silent auction and a segment highlighting the charity's mission. During cocktail hour, I approached the event organizer and offered a substantial donation in exchange for a brief opportunity to speak. I'd like to talk about the importance of honesty and integrity in both business and personal relationships. I think it fits perfectly with your charity's mission. She was thrilled to have an additional speaker, especially one making a large donation. Emma was mingling with her coworkers when I took the stage. She looked beautiful in her new dress, smiling and laughing with colleagues who respected her professionally. She had no idea her world was about to implode. Good evening, everyone. I want to talk about trust, honesty, and the consequences of deception. Emma looked up at me with confusion. This wasn't what we'd discussed. 2 weeks ago, I discovered that my wife had been lying to me about a recent trip to Miami. She told me it was an innocent bachelorette party with her girlfriends. The reality was very different. The room went silent. Emma's face went white. I'm a cybersecurity analyst, so I did what I do best. I investigated. What I found was a coordinated effort by 4 women to use a bachelorette party as cover for infidelity. I clicked to the first slide of my presentation. Screenshots of the group chat with names blurred, but messages clearly visible. These women didn't just cheat on their partners, they celebrated it. They bragged about deceiving the men who trusted them. They planned future affairs and congratulated each other on their successful deception. Emma was trying to get to me, pushing through the crowd, but people were blocking her path, too shocked by what they were seeing to move. My wife, Emma Mitchell, spent our joint savings entertaining her affair partner in Miami. She's planning to see him again next month, using a fake business trip as cover. The next slide showed credit card receipts, with Emma's name clearly visible. But here's what's really interesting about deception. It never stays hidden. The truth always comes out, and when it does, it destroys everything the liar has built. Emma finally reached the stage. "David, stop, please." I looked down at her. "Why? Isn't this what you wanted? You told your friends I'd never find out. You were wrong." The room was in chaos now. Emma's boss was staring in shock. Her coworkers were whispering and pointing, and several people were recording with their phones. The charity we're supporting tonight helps families rebuild after trauma. I'm making a $50,000 donation in honor of all the families destroyed by lies and betrayal." I handed the check to the event organizer and walked off the stage, leaving Emma there, standing in front of 300 people who now knew exactly what kind of person she really was. The fallout was swift and brutal. Robert called off his wedding to Jessica 3 days before the ceremony. The venue, catering, and flowers were all paid for, but Robert couldn't go through with marrying someone who'd betrayed him so completely.
Jessica's parents were furious. They'd spent $40,000 on a wedding that wasn't happening. Mike filed for divorce from Ashley immediately. Since they'd just bought a house together, the legal complications were expensive and messy. Ashley had to move back in with her parents and take a second job to pay for lawyers. Sarah lost her therapy license after the ethics board investigation. Encouraging infidelity and helping people deceive their spouses was a clear violation of professional standards. Her practice collapsed and she had to find a new career. Emma was fired from her job 2 days after the gala. Her company cited conduct unbecoming and damage to professional reputation. In our industry, trust and integrity are everything. Emma's public humiliation had made her unemployable, but the personal consequences were even worse than the professional ones. Jessica's wedding cancellation made local news because of the venue and vendor complications. The story spread on social media, and soon everyone in our social circle knew about the Miami deception. The 4 women went from being envied for their close friendship to being social pariahs. Emma moved out of our house and back in with her parents. She tried to apologize, tried to explain that it was just a mistake, that Marcus meant nothing to her. But I had seen the messages. I knew how she really felt about our marriage. "You destroyed my entire life," she said during one of our last conversations. "My job, my reputation, my friendships, everything is gone." "I didn't destroy anything," I replied. "I just revealed what you'd already destroyed. You made the choices, Emma. You sent the messages. You spent the money. You planned the future affairs. I just made sure the truth came out. You could have confronted me privately. We could have worked through this. Like you worked through your problems by cheating on me in Miami. Like you worked through your guilt by planning to see Marcus again next month." She had no answer for that. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. Emma got nothing. Our prenup had an infidelity clause that voided her claim to marital assets. She moved to another state to start over, but the internet never forgets. Her professional reputation was permanently damaged. Jessica never got married. Robert moved on and is now engaged to someone else, but Jessica is still single and struggling to find anyone willing to date someone with her reputation. Ashley and Mike's divorce was bitter and expensive. Ashley lost the house, half her retirement savings, and custody of their dog. Mike is doing better now, dating a teacher who actually appreciates honesty. Sarah is working as a retail manager at Target. It's honest work, but a far cry from her previous career as a respected therapist. As for me, I'm doing great. I got a promotion at work. Turns out my presentation skills impressed some important people at the gala. I'm dating a wonderful woman named Lisa who works in marketing and has never been to Miami. The funny thing is, I'm not angry anymore. Emma and her friends taught me something valuable about trust and deception. They showed me that some people will lie to your face while planning to betray you, and that the only way to protect yourself is to verify everything. Emma was right about one thing. She'd never have found out if she'd been smarter about it. But she got cocky, careless, and overconfident. She thought she was dealing with a naive husband who would never suspect anything. Instead, she was dealing with a cybersecurity expert who knew exactly how to uncover the truth and had the skills to make sure everyone else knew it too. Last month, I ran into Jessica at a coffee shop. She looked tired, older, defeated. She tried to apologize for her part in everything. "I'm sorry, David. We never meant for things to go this far. You meant to deceive your partners and get away with it. The only thing you didn't mean was getting caught. We were just having fun. It didn't mean anything. It meant everything to the people you betrayed. Robert was planning to spend his life with you. Mike trusted Ashley completely. I thought Emma and I had a future together. Can you ever forgive us?"
"I already have," I said. "But forgiveness doesn't mean there are no consequences. You made choices, and choices have results." As I walked away, I realized Emma had been wrong about something else. She told her friends that what happened in Miami would stay in Miami. But the truth is, secrets always travel. They follow you home, they grow in the darkness, and eventually they explode into the light. Emma and her friends learned that lesson the hard way, and now everyone knows exactly what kind of people they really are.